Hi, I'm Melanie from Nova Scotia, Canada, and this is Adventures in Groceryland. This is the week one meal video for the $21 grocery budget challenge of 2020 of the fall of 2024. There are two of us, so each of us has a $21 budget. That means our total cash budget is $42. We are showing that you can eat well and build a substantial pantry on a very minimal budget. This is going to show the meals. If you haven't seen the grocery video, you can see that uploaded earlier this week. And at the end of the video, you will see all of the supplies that we have left that we'll be carrying over from week one into week two. We had some great meals. Check it out. It is morning one. It's early, and we are going to have our first breakfast on this challenge. We are not regular breakfast eaters, so this is a real struggle for us, and I'm sure that it's going to continue to be a struggle throughout the plan. So I tried to pick things that were very easy for me to make. I'm going to make this instant oatmeal. We are going to cut this apple in half, and we are going to eat half of the apple. We're going to share that between the two of us on the oatmeal with the meal today, and the other half of the apple can go for tomorrow's meal. We've got the apples in. I'm going to dump the oatmeal, and of course these bags just had oatmeal in them. They can absolutely be reused, especially if we're going to do more oatmeal bags. All right, those are in. I'm going to add some hot water here. Ooh, this is not the best. I don't know why I tried to do it in this. Stir this up. Topped with a bit of brown sugar and a very tiny bit of milk. For lunch today, we are going to have egg cups. So we're going to use one egg each. I'm going to use broccoli, some peppers, onions, and I'm going to use some of the hot honey smoky that we have in that as well. I'm not putting any mushrooms in. I am saving them for something else. I decided just to use one of the peppers, then I don't have cuts in a whole bunch of them. I feel like once you cut into them, they don't last quite as long. So we're just doing the orange pepper, the broccoli, the onions, and the hot smoky. All right, let's get these cooked up. These turned out great. I'm starting the chicken in the crock pot. I've added in a little bit of onion, some of the parsley, and some of the celery that I dehydrated myself. And we are going to get this cooking. You can see I have lots of water. That is intentional. I want the broth. I want to be able to use all kinds of things for more meals. Whether it's more meals this week or save it for meals in a future week, it's still important for me to do this. To go with the chicken, we are having potatoes, carrots, and we were just going to have potatoes and carrots, but the broccoli is not in that great of shape, so we're also going to have broccoli. This looks pretty great. Chicken dinner, so it's mashed potatoes, broccoli, carrots, chicken, and gravy. Looks delicious. Oatmeal, day 2. Yucks. Stir it all together and topped with a little bit of brown sugar and a little bit of almond milk. Here we go again with my egg cups. So these are just 1 cup prep bowls, glass 1 cup prep bowls. They're microwavable. And in it I have just items from the fridge. So we happen to have broccoli, peppers, and onions, and I put a little bit of that hot smoky in there again. We are going to just crack. Let's see if I can do this one. Oh, not exactly. I'll get that little piece out. And let's see if I can get this one. That one's better, but also has a piece. I'm trying to be clever. It's not working that great. And I'll stir these up and get them in the microwave, and I am microwaving them for a minute each. And if they came out and they didn't look cooked, I'd put them back in probably for about 30 seconds. Egg cups, and we topped it with a little bit of homemade salsa, one of our free items. Chicken dinner leftovers for supper tonight. Oatmeal for breakfast again today. This may seem repetitive. However, I find it very comforting to have the breakfasts pre-prepared in advance because we struggle with eating breakfast. So making it easy makes it easy for us. I've got the banana, so it is a little bit of a change today. We are going to use a third of the banana, of course, split between the two of us. So we'll have today, tomorrow, and the following day, and then we'll go back to the apples again. One apple left, and then that's the 7 days. This is really easy, and we are actually both liking it, and we're eating it. So that's good. That's the goal. Oatmeal with brown sugar and bananas for breakfast. I am going to make some bread. We're going to use this recipe, but what I'm actually going to do is make the dough. I'm going to split it in half. Half of it I am going to use to make bread, and the other half I'm going to split up and try to make some buns. I have everything here except I don't have butter or margarine or oil, so I'm just going to leave it out and hope for the best. We've already had chicken dinner twice, and I was not very generous when I served out the chicken. I wanted to make sure it was would last multiple meals. So I boiled what was left again with water to make broth, and then well, the handsman helped me. We stripped all the meat, so that's in this bowl. This is all of the bones, the skin, the gristle, everything. So that's gone. I'm going to use about a quarter of this in the soup, and I'm going to freeze 3/4 of it so that we can have chicken for a future meal. It'll be good for something like a casserole or, yeah, mostly a casserole, something like that. Yeah, so that was off of that. I got it for $5 pack of chicken, so we had 2 meals so far. I'm going to make a chicken soup out of it, and we'll have more for other meals. So to start, this is the broth. I added in the leftover carrots and broccoli that we'd cooked for the chicken dinner. I am going to add some more in, but another thing I'm going to add is this is the dehydrated celery. So chicken soup is good. Maybe that's a little much, but I am adding this in as well, and we will add in more broccoli, more carrots, and a few more onions. So this will be soup for us for probably lunches for probably 3 days, no more. I added some parsley, some salt, and some pepper. After I put some of the chicken in the soup, this is what I had left, and I decided to split it into 2 bags. No, they're not freezer bags. These are just little sandwich bags because they are not going to be in the freezer that long. On this early in the challenge, we're going to need to eat this. I added more carrot, more broccoli, the celery, more onion. Yeah, it's going to be good. Good for a couple days' lunches. I separated the dough into 2, so we're going to make a loaf of bread, and then we're going to make some rolls. Chicken soup and homemade rolls for lunch. The rolls are still steaming hot. I put the rolls and the bread in at the same time. I cooked the rolls for 20 minutes, and I had sprinkled some parsley on top of the bread. Looks good. And I left the bread in for 40 minutes. So we split these up. We've got a package of 4, a package of 4, a package of 3, and then these 3 we are using in supper tonight. So I'm going to slice these ones up, and we're going to use it as ground, and I imagine that that's what I'll do with this one as well. I have sliced the casing off of these sausages. We are going to cook them as ground, and we are going to use them to make a casserole with this white cheddar deluxe mac and cheese dinner kit. I had initially thought I was going to use some of the frozen vegetables with this, but the broccoli is fading fast. Remember, there was a week's delay in between when I had started shopping for the first week of the challenge, took a week off, and then continued. So the broccoli, I'm really trying to get that used up fast. So it's going to be broccoli, sausage, and in the white cheddar cheese sauce. I added in a small amount of pepper. I'm making this as a one-pot dish, so I cooked the sausage, peppers, and onions, added in the broccoli, added 2 cups of water. I'm going to stir this in. I need to add the sauce mix. I added some milk and the sauce mix. Let's get this all stirred in and let it cook. I might have to add a little more water or a little more milk. Macaroni, sausage, and broccoli casserole. Oatmeal with bananas and brown sugar for breakfast. The handsome one harvested the remainder of our green onions. I am going to clean these up. We're going to dehydrate them, and then I'm going to have that as well in with my spices. This is what they look like cleaned up before I cut them up and put them in the dehydrator. This is how the onions turned out. I just need to get them in a little container now. Lunch today is chicken soup and rolls. Leftover casserole for supper tonight. This was quite good. Breakfast today, oatmeal with brown sugar and the last of the banana. Just trying to mix things up a little bit today for lunch. We do still have some soup left, but we are going to have that tomorrow. Today we are just going to have French fries and gravy. Normally I would toss the potatoes in oil, so vegetable oil, canola oil, whatever kind of oil that we had, and that helps them crisp up, but I don't have any. I could melt margarine if I had margarine and use that. I also don't have that. But what I do have is fat that I skimmed off the top of the chicken broth, and I'm going to just, obviously I don't need that, I mean like 2 tablespoons maybe, or even 1 tablespoon. I'm going to heat it so that it's liquid, and then I'm going to toss the fries with that. I tossed it with the chicken fat and topped with salt and pepper. Let's get it in the air fryer. These turned out way, way, way better than what I was expecting. And I have a little bit of gravy. I just heated this up in the microwave, left over from our chicken dinner. Just drizzle this on. So we are having fries and gravy for lunch. Awesome. Very excited. This is a nice variety. We are having spaghetti for supper tonight. I'm very excited about this. Spaghetti is one of my favorite meals. So we are going to use one of the hamburger patties. We're going to use mushrooms, onions, peppers, in the pasta sauce that we have. We've got some garlic and we have spices as well. We've got some sauce here. We've got some pasta here. It's all coming together. Spaghetti. This looks so good. I'm so excited about this. Leftover spaghetti for lunch today, and that gives us a little bit of variety from the soup and the eggs as well. The handsome one is not that excited about having these spaghetti leftovers for lunch, but we need to eat this today for lunch. yeah, our choices are limited, and I'm still very, very conscientious about carrying forward as many things into week 2 as we can because it'll set us up in a better position. Yeah, I'm excited about it. For supper tonight, we are going to make hot chicken burgers. We have, this is one of the 2 packages of chicken that I froze from earlier this week. I pulled it out this morning. We're going to have fries with it. We are either going to have peas or beans out of here. So I guess that means I better start separating them. We're going to have them on our homemade buns. And I have broth. It's like the fat left that I can make gravy with. But I do need to save a little bit of it out. I'm going to be cooking something tomorrow that I will need something. And since we don't have any margarine or butter, this is what I got. So this is what I got to work with. The handsome one asked for smaller fries today. The potatoes are all about the same length, so I tried to cut them skinnier so they were more like shoestring fries. Anyways, I used the same chicken like drippings to coat these so that they'll crisp up because we don't have any margarine or oil. Let's get these in the air fryer. This is what's happening right now. I'm just doing a little bit of separation. I am going to leave a small amount of the vegetables mixed, but a little bit of work, especially this early in the challenge, just gives me a little bit of variety. I know this may seem a bit silly, separating out the vegetables, but when you're on a really, really minimal budget, sometimes having the idea that you have variety is worth that little bit of effort that it took for me to separate these. So now I've actually got corn, carrots, peas, green beans, and then I did keep a little bit mixed together here in case I want to use it for a soup. And I put all of the lima beans in with the mixed because we would never choose to eat those just on their own, but we will eat them in a soup. So I'm very happy with this. Hot turkey sandwiches on homemade buns with peas and fries. Looks great. It wasn't until right now that I clued in that we didn't eat breakfast yesterday. Yeah, so now I have a half of an apple left over because I had budgeted out of the food that we were going to have oatmeal yesterday and with half of an apple, and then oatmeal today with half of an apple. So I also have 2 of the little oatmeal bags left also. Yeah, we didn't miss it. We never thought about it yesterday. We had lunch, and then, yeah, forgot. It wasn't until this morning that I realized that we didn't eat breakfast yesterday morning. I didn't even miss it. We just carried on with lunch and supper like we normally do. I'm sorry about that, guys. I had such great intentions that we were going to eat breakfast every single day. It's hard when you're not a regular breakfast eater. This should have been the half of an apple that we used yesterday. I also have 2 of the oatmeal packets left. Best intentions. We weren't hungry, I will say that. Chicken soup for lunch, and this is the last of the chicken soup. We were able to get 3 days out of it. 3 lunches. For supper tonight, we are going to have omelets. I think we're going to make a 3-egg omelet and we'll split that. And the omelets are going to have peppers, onions, mushrooms. We're going to use a little bit of this hot honey smoky. We're going to have toast with homemade jam. And we have cooked some potatoes. We are going to use this potato to make potato hash browns. I don't have any oil or butter. I just saved out some of the like the fat from when I cooked the chicken. That's what we have. That's what we'll use. This is everything all together for the omelet. I'm not making 2 separate omelets. We're just going to make one big omelet, and then we will cut it in half and split it. All right. Perfect. I got it mostly flipped. think this is probably going to be the best we're going to get with the potatoes. This looks great. Omelets, hash browns or home fries or potato hash, and homemade toast with Hascap jam, homemade Hascap jam. It's interesting. The handsome one asked me multiple times if we had butter, margarine, oil, and of course we have all of those things, but we don't have them on the challenge. So I will have to really focus on getting some kind of an oil last week or next week, perhaps Giant Tiger. I got a rain check for butter there. Margarine, not butter. It was Lactantia spread. And I got a rain check for that, and it would be real great if they would get some back in stock. I'd like to have that. It was $1.88. When you consider that we spent just under $42 and that we have eaten meals for an entire week, and what you're looking at is what I have left, I think that is pretty outstanding. Let's go over it all. So we have very little bit of broccoli left. We've got onions left. I'm going to say there's 3/4 of the liter of almond milk there. More even than 3/4 of the flour. One of the white cheddar mac and cheese, the hamburger helper. I have half of the brown sugar left, all of the baking powder, some yeast. I think there might be enough in there for one full loaf. Definitely enough for a half a loaf. I've got 5 eggs. We have 1 of the hamburger patties left. This is a package of 4 sausages, 3 sausages. This is chicken that's cooked and frozen. Never touched the beef broth, unfortunately, because we forgot to eat breakfast yesterday. I have 2 of the breakfast oatmeal packs left. We've got 3 mushrooms and 2 carrots. Because I separated the vegetables. I have a little bit here that's mixed vegetables that could go in a soup or a stew. And then I separated out, and we've got carrots, peas, beans, corn. I've got this much left of the smoky. This is the cooked chicken. We had frozen 2 separate packs, and we pulled one out and had it for supper last night. And this is what we have left of that. We have some spaghetti sauce. This is chicken broth that I tried to freeze. Obviously, this got turned a little bit when I closed the freezer door. I need to get that out of there and in a bag. I've got peppers left. In the bottom here, this is gravy. This is half of an apple. This is cut red pepper. This is leftover spaghetti sauce, and there's a small amount of spaghetti in there. And I think what I might do is I might actually just mix those together and freeze them, and then we have a meal, one meal for one person, and I wouldn't say it's a supper, but it's certainly enough for a lunch. We have bread left, potatoes, and I'm going to say there's half the potatoes left. And then we have this much cooked potatoes left. I need to figure out storage for those. I just feel like this is really good. I was pretty miserly with stuff in week 1 so that we'd have lots of things to carry over into week 2. This will help us and set us up to have more successful weeks to come. I think we did pretty good. Thanks for tuning in. I think we did phenomenal this week. I was really, really pleased, even though we didn't get a whole chicken. We got enough chicken that it worked for us in lieu of a whole chicken. I'm really happy, and I feel very pleased with the amount of supplies that we're going to carry forward into week 2. It's going to be a great week next week. Stay tuned for Monday for the upload of week 2 groceries. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I sure would appreciate it if you would do so. It would help me. Thanks, everybody, and have a great weekend.